Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey, Radio Bypass. Thanks for joining us. Today we have a returning guest that I'm so excited has some new music for us. Joining us is Mr. Chaz West. How are you, Chaz?
I'm okay, Ralph. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. It's good to have you back on.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Hold on, we've got something going on here.
No worries.
Why am I getting this? What's this given? Okay, fine.
You sound good and look fine on this end, if that
Okay,
helps.
there we go. Sorted.
All right, awesome. So in case anybody doesn't remember when Chaz was on before, he has one of his many projects, many things that he does is a band called Westbound.
It's a real band. Exactly.
A real band. And they had released an album called Volume 1. And that was what Chaz and I were talking about last time he stopped by Radio Bypass. But now, hopefully you heard it on the music show a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to include it at the end of this interview as well.
Right.
He's just released a new single called Don't Stand in My Sunshine. And dude, smoking song. So I'm hoping that this is a precursor to Westbound Volume 2.
Absolutely it is, Ralph. Whether or not it's going to be called Volume 2 yet, I don't know. That has not been completely decided. At this point, we can call it that. Yes, Volume 2. But yeah, exactly. We figured, give him a little taste first. So it's the first single. And there'll be another one because the record probably won't be out till sometime next year, be honest. So there'll be another one before that, probably by fall, October, November. And then we'll put one more out before the record comes out. I would say spring of 2024. So around that time. But yeah. And there'll be a video. This video for Don't Stand in My Sunshine should be available online within the next week or so, like week or two. So,
Excellent.
Yeah, we put it in Nashville, where our new label is located. It was great. It was fun, and the scene setting fit the song. So when you see it, you'll get it.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, and I got to check on this song now. I'm assuming this is the same lineup as the last record.
Yeah, it is. The only difference is a keyboard player.
Okay.
We got in that T-Bone. We call him T-Bone. His real name is Torbjörn Andersson. He's from Sweden. He played with the band Government Mule for a bit.
Okay.
And I've known him for years. And during the pandemic, all you could do was streaming shows, right? So we had one lined up for Monsters of Rock Cruise. And the guy I was using wasn't available, because, it was whatever reason. And so I knew T-Bone because we'd played a party, actually, the New Year's Eve prior, right before everything shut down. So I called on him and he's like, yes, so he came in and he did a great job with just a couple days notice learning these songs, And then I had my friend had an outdoor bar restaurant in Hollywood. And he let me have like a listening party, or not even listening, viewing party, because it was like a Friday night. And so everybody was outside, so it was still legal, you could be out there, right? Even though everything was locked down still. And he came over to me and he's like, I want to be in this band. I love the band. I don't want to just be the fill-in. And I was like, well, I don't know how long it's going to be till we can do something again,
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, at that time, I was thinking maybe 9 months, a year max. Who knows? It's going to be a fucking year and a half.
Yeah,
right?
in the beginning, I didn't think it would drag on so long.
Exactly. I thought maybe a year, but, probably by 6-9 months already. Well, no. So, but he's, since then he's stuck. We started up again in 2022 and he's been doing all the shows and, and everything has become, a central, member as a key ingredient,
Right.
to the Westbound family. So,
All right. So we got the same bandwidth except for the keys. Who's playing harp on this track?
yours truly.
Nice. Nice.
I'm no John Popper, but I do the best I can. I just felt the song called for it, I mean, my favorite vocalists, Robert Plant, Roger Daltrey, Steven Tyler, Mick Jagger, Paul Rogers, they all play some blues harp, and
Right.
it took me a long time to really get it. I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing, to be quite honest with you. It's all a feel, and it's all an ear by ear. And finally I learned how to get that wah sound, which the blues masters got, because I wasn't able to get that for a long time. And all of a sudden one day, the light bulb went off and it clicked. So, little by little, I would on covers, jams and things like that. I would start playing a little bit. And this is the first time where I felt this song really called for not just a little bit of a blues. I did that, a record I did a few years ago, many years ago, called Three-Legged Dog with Vinny Appice and the late, great Jimmy Bain and Carlos Cavaza. I played a little bit on one song, but it wasn't much. But this song, I thought, this really calls for it all the way through. Right. And Roy Z, producer, co-writer, felt the same way. So thank you for that.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, oh man, I got to know who that is.
Yeah.
And if you're still feeling your way around the harp playing world, I recently discovered a guy that every harp player knows him. I just was late to the party, but there's a guy named Will Wild. He's got a band called Bad Luck Friday.
And where are they?
They're England. They're from
England, of course.
And a harp playing buddy of mine from Chicago just saw him in St. Louis the other day. But yeah, they're from England. And man, that dude, I had no idea pedigree this guy has. And he is like a harp master. He's like,
see, I'm not going to be the first to admit it, but like I said, it's all a feel thing for me and by ear. And I'm like, well, it sounds good to me. Roy, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, great. I think it fits,
Yeah,
I felt too. So,
I agree. Yeah, I loved it. It took me by surprise when I first heard the track because I didn't expect harp on it.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is cool. And so I made a mental.
We've written and recorded the whole song before. And I thought, it's lacking something. What if I try a little blues song? And Roy was very, encouraging about that. Said, yes, do it. I went, okay. And I just, one night, that's what we did. So
that's awesome.
It was pretty much one take. Maybe I did a few little fix-ups, but for the most part, it was one take. So,
yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. I look forward to hearing that live.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. I'm biting on the bit to play that song live. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I like the title too. What were you thinking about? I mean, it's probably apparent, but
negative situations, toxic people. There's been a lot of divisiveness in the last few years that I've seen, especially on the internet, social media side. And I just was like, let's get away. I want to stay with these people. It's kind of like the vampire with the cross. Stay away. Come on, I've been hard enough on everyone the last couple of years with the pandemic lockdown, and we've all gone through it. It's like, man, we're all human beings. You can agree to disagree. It's okay. There's too much hate. That's what this country was founded on. Democracy was founded. You can agree to disagree. It's okay. I don't want to get political. I'm just saying, no matter. I agree. And it's like, don't, hey man, if you got an issue with whatever, but don't bring it on me. Okay. For whatever. Right. And I'm not just talking about me individually. I'm saying in general, people in, whether it be a group, whether it's a personal relationship, a business relationship, whatever, toxic people, it will take you down, so no it was that. That's what it was mainly about.
Yeah. No, I that's what I figured, but just figured I'd ask it because, I liked it because I'm the same way. I'm so sad with all the, like you say, divisiveness and hatred you have today. It's like, I've said this millions of times, and I'm sure I've said it on probably every interview I've done too, but peace, love, and rock and roll. That's what we're back to.
I'm with you, my friend. Agreed.
And I know our country, we're rife with a lot of big problems. Don't have easy answers, gang problems, this, that, and the other thing.
Oh, I know.
I understand.
Well, so do many other countries throughout the world too, and a lot of these places have a lot worse than this country. We're very fortunate in a lot of ways.
Yes, exactly.
So we forget that,
We do, and that's why. I just wish somehow mankind could just stop and think, man, it's a quick ride that we go through on this planet.
We're all human beings,
let's
on this
just be cool.
for a short period of time, and let's just try and spread the love, and spread the acceptance, and want everybody to succeed and be happy. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no question. So yes, I'm glad you share that sentiment, and I'm glad you decided to make a song out of that.
Yeah. Thanks.
So what else has been going on, buddy? So can you give us any teaser on the next single after this one?
Well, I can't, I'm not quite sure which one it will be yet. I have an idea for the most part, but it'll be more of I think an up-tempo song, because this one has like a bluesy, as you can tell, You want to know how we came up with the songs? Don't Stand in My Sunshine. The producer, co-writer Roy Z and I were watching a movie called Brother, Where Art Thou? Came out.
Oh my gosh, I remember that movie.
It starred George Clooney, right?
Yeah.
And the premise of the movie was they had escaped from a prison chain gang during the Depression era. And they were just running, just kind of escape the law. And somebody said, hey, you sing into this. There's this new thing called radio. And you sing it to this tin can and they'll give you $10, right? Which is probably worth a fortune back then, right?
Right.
And so they have that one song, what is it? Man of Constant Sorrow. And it becomes this huge hit. And nobody knows who the hell they are because it's radio, right? And all of a sudden, the governor of whatever state, like, they end up getting pardoned and this and that. And, there's even a fictional character that plays Robert Johnson. It's kind of the Robert, they don't say them by name, but you put two and two together. If you're a blues aficionado like I am, they're like, oh, that's supposed to be the Robert Johnson character. So anyway, so we're watching this movie and Roy Z and I both were like, what if we wrote a song, Man of Constant Sorrow? What if we wrote a song like that, but modernized it a bit, That's where the idea came from. I mean, honestly. And then the up-tempo bit, I admit, was a bit of like When the Levee Breaks, because that's where I got the idea. But it fit, it wasn't just like I purposely wanted to make it sound like a Zeppelin part there. No, it fit the song. Right. So yeah, that's where that idea came from. So,
that's pretty cool.
And I can't wait for people to see the video for it, because we shot it, like I said, in Nashville, right outside of Nashville. And they it's a new label to be signed with called Legendary Artists, and we're the first band that have their full release. They're doing a compilation thing besides that, which some of my guys are on, but that'll be out later. But we're the first band signing they're having, and they put us on an 8-acre estate, right? That had like a barn and a waterfall and a fountain, with a man-made lake. It was unbelievable. It was gorgeous. And this song really fit, like I said, that scene setting, the lyrical content and the whole feel of the song, So I can't wait for people to see that, to accompany the song.
Who directed the video?
This guy that they found somewhere in, I believe he was from Alabama. Didn't know about it, but he did a phenomenal job. And he spent the time, and he was just, I could tell he loved it. I mean, he was just like, he was there every morning at 9 a.m. waiting around, while we're having our coffee and getting ready and all that stuff. And he was just like, I could tell he was hungry, maybe he wasn't a complete unknown, but he was younger and he was still trying to make a name for himself. And he felt like honored almost that, like, wow, I'm getting to do this. And, and that was great. So it was cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was great. And we had a good time. And we ended up going out to Nashville one night. I even got up as a special guest at Kid Rock's club, some friends of mine that were playing. And it was off the hook. Man, it reminded me of like how the Sunset Strip was when I first moved out here, late 80s, early 90s. It's like what it was. It was off the hook. And that was like that. 4 stories that were all packed and they're going crazy. And I'm like, wow. So it was cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I guess Nashville is more rock and roll than LA these days, huh?
Yeah. I mean, LA, look, this is my home. It's still, there's hope. I mean, it goes through the ups and the downs. Right. There's still a scene. Is it as big as it was back? No, not in the least. But, and Nashville, this happens, right? It was LA, then it was Seattle, then it was, like San Diego. Now we're in Nashville. That's what happens every 5 to 10 years or so. So, but LA will survive and will come back. You know, this might have been my home longer than my original home. So yeah, this is a place I still call home. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so going back to the video then, so that you think that's coming out in around a week?
I think about a week to 2 weeks max, it should be available. Absolutely.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
I know they're
1 day shoot.
I saw the first edited version got to me like a week ago. And I asked for a few changes, a few edits here and there. And then I showed to the guys, and the guys were like, hey, can you do this? Can we do this? So then it went back to the the videographer, excuse me. And he was doing some editing. And from what I understand, it's pretty much, I should be able to see something in the next day or so. So, and then give the thumbs up, and we'll put it out there immediately. There's no reason to waste any more time, you know?
Right.
So, right.
Well, that's cool. So keep your eyes on westboundofficial.com, guys.
That's correct. You got
I'm
it.
assuming you'll have it up there first.
I appreciate that, Ralph. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool. All right, excellent. And then I think then for Westbound itself, because I'm trying to keep track of all the different things. So I know you've done a couple of the Moby Dicks recently too, right?
Yeah, they're my bros. You know, we've had this going for years, like 10 years now. We're playing actually the Canyon Club, which is, a local place here in Agora Hills. We're doing that at the end of September. Tish has got the Dead Daisies, and,
Right.
so everybody's busy doing other things. And Phil Susan, has Last in Line. I've got Westbound, but, it's still, we're all Zepp heads and what we've loved to do for 10 years now,
Yeah.
So.
But I think you just
and we're
did
proud
a
of
show
that,
not
too.
that long ago, though, the Moby Dicks.
What was that?
I said you just did a gig not too long ago, I think, as the Moby Dicks.
Yeah, it was.
I think I remember saying, "Oh man,
at Vamp,
yeah,
we were at Vamp. You're absolutely right. We were there. June, July.
I think it was in June.
June, July. Yeah, at the end of June, I believe. Oh, I remember now. It was 4th of July weekend. Because yes, we were there 4th of July weekend, and then I did a private party thing in Havasu right afterwards. So yeah, that was the last time we were there.
Yeah,
and then
I know every time I see it,
there again in October, actually. So
in October,
right before I go out with Westbound, and we start on the East Coast. Yeah,
perfect segue. So Westbound touring. So I knew it was going to start up in October. So you got some dates lined up. That
we have some shows.
Or...
there was a couple that were working out with the routing, because it was just too far within one night to the next. If there was a night in between, that'd be one thing. So it looks like we're at this point, we're going to start in either New Jersey or Massachusetts the weekend prior to Halloween.
Gotcha.
So that's whatever that is, the 27th, 28th, something like that. Yeah, around there. It's like I said, the routing is still being worked out, but there are 3 shows that are confirmed already. And then I think there's going to be a few more. And then we're going to finish at the Whiskey here, where it all started in LA, our hometown, right? On November 5th.
Yeah. So, and then are you crisscrossing then? Are you starting east and then going through Midwest and working your way?
Do a bunch of shows there, and then we fly back. We're not driving all across country; we just fly back. And then that'll be the last one, probably for the year, unless something comes out. Maybe a charity or benefit or something like that around Christmas time. But besides that, then we would start up again in 2024. Got
it. And so, since you're going out before the full record release,
right?
Will this round starting in October? Will Don't Stand in My Sunshine be in the set list? I hope
that's the plan. Absolutely. Right. We've not played it live yet, so but yeah, that's the definite plan. I'm biting at the bit to do it. So yeah. It's going to be a little different to do that live and sing, because I can't sing and play blues harp at the same time. So it's going to have to be worked out where I do it in certain parts. But besides that, I think it'll be great. And I always love doing that. You try it out on the audience and see how it goes over. Because sometimes, in the past, I found that it might work on record, but then you try it live, and for some reason, it just doesn't go over. And and it's happened with many bands in the past. So that's the way to try it out. It's live. It's like, okay, this is good. Or we got to change this a little bit, or this kind of thing. Or this one is probably just best to keep on the record. Zeppelin. I think they played When the Levee Breaks once in all the years they were together. I know for a fact, and that it didn't work out. Of course, now, of course, there's modern, technology with, there's ways to make it work easier, but I don't want to rely on any sampling or anything like that. I want to do it for real. It's raw, so.
Right. I love it. I love it. So,
Right.
so hearing that, I want it to be real. Vocals, I imagine that is something that's important to you to have be real, which is why you want to work around the harp. So, so I like that. But yeah, you can still fit the harp in.
I think I could still fit it in. I'll just have to pick places for it,
Just have to do a little more jogging or something to get the breathing.
Yeah,
right.
I know, but I can't do it at the same time as I'm singing. That's impossible. I mean, I don't know. And I don't want to have another guy come up to do that. So I'm like, no, we'll work it out,
Yeah. Because you got to have it. That song's just so cool with that harp in there.
And I've done Roadhouse Blues with a cover thing, for fun. And in between, I'll play some blues harp, like in between a line, You ride on the road, your hands upon the wheel. And then, I'll do something like that,
Yeah.
Right.
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, man. I'm really excited for you for that. I hope the dates all go well. No technical breakdowns or anything.
All right. Well, yeah, we were supposed to have done a bunch of shows in March, and then, of course, inclement weather and blizzard, and that shut that down. Yeah. So, and everything got postponed. So, a couple of shows are probably not going to work out on this run because there was one or two that dropped off from March, and so it's just too far, the routing. We kept like up here, then here the next night.
Right.
18-hour drives. It's like, no, we're too old for that. Unless you got a bus, and at this point, we're probably just gonna have a Sprinter. So So
you can't get too crazy. It's too expensive.
Not 20-year-old kids anymore. We're not over the hill, but we're not, kids in a station wagon, whatever. Yeah.
Right. It's not the van tour days where you sleep on top of the drums or anything.
Oh, I remember doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doing that up until I was like 30. So in the late 20s. But you get in your 50s, it's like, I think
I know. I think about that a lot too. I this band I used to road manage, I worked at the radio station I was on, I was the overnight guy.
Right.
And so I get off at 8:00 in the morning on a Friday.
Right.
I have to drive down to where we had all the gear, our rehearsal space.
Yeah.
Load up the van, packed full, then go pick up the guys. They'd meet at one of the guys' houses. So I didn't have to at everybody's house because then we'd all just ride in the van to save money.
Sure, I did. I remember doing that.
And
you were the driver too?
I was the driver. And so, like we'd have a gig, say, in Minneapolis from Chicago. Right. It's about a 6-hour drive, roughly.
Right.
So I've been up, since the night before, up all night.
Yep.
Pack up the equipment and all that. And usually I had help with that. I didn't have to pack the whole van myself. But, get stuff packed, then do the drive, and then really too keyed up to try to go to sleep because now you got to load in at 3:00.
Right.
So you get there and it's like, okay, more coffee. And you bring all the shit in, get the sound check done and all that. Now you can go back and try.
Now you go back and have a quick nap. I know. Power nap. I live on them on the road. Believe me. I know. 15 minutes to anywhere between 10 minutes and a half hour. So like recharge the batteries. Right.
Exactly. I think about that now and I'm like, man, because I'd love to go out and do that kind of thing again. That was a fun time in my life. And
sure.
I'd love to go work with a band again and do something like that. But I think to myself, could I handle such little sleep?
Yeah, that's the difference.
So you're right. When
being a vocalist, Ralph, that's the thing, because you rely on sleep, and especially as you get older, that's why I've learned to do it with naps. As long as I can get like maybe 5 hours the night before, if I say, okay, and I can have a half hour, 15 minutes to a half hour nap, I've been able to work it, at least for a night or two,
Oh yeah, you got to get your rest because there's no a bad cable.
Exactly. Exactly. In this day and age, it's already on the internet before you're off stage. There's no bad nights anymore.
Right.
That you used to be able to get away with,
Yeah.
You know, or warm-up nights. Okay, well, we're playing bumfuck first night out, and whatever. And nobody will see it. Nobody will, very few people before we play the major shows in the major cities, No, there's no more of that, because it's like, Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, this one, it's like, forget TikTok.
Another thing that I don't like about, I love our modern technology, and I
agree,
because I don't like that either. Like even friends of mine, I'll take a little video, but I never ever put it online.
Thank you.
Because the audio, as you know, just doesn't sound right.
Not at all.
So even if you're singing right on key, because of the way it comes out of the PA and into your little stupid phone, it still doesn't sound right. So it could make it sound like you're sucking even when you're not.
Exactly. People would judge immediately. Oh, they suck. Oh, it doesn't sound. He doesn't have his voice anymore. Oh, that guitar's. You hit the nail on the head. That's why I always say, like, look, I don't mind if you can you just send it to me first, please? This is my career. It's my livelihood. Okay, I'm not just playing a few covers, for a jam. I don't care about that. Then this is my, please just send it to me first. And I have no problem. I appreciate you want to promote, sure, but you don't want to be put in a bad light. Yeah,
so, and I see so much of that where the audio. Of course, I'm fussy about my audio anyway, but
that's cool. It what you do.
So bad that it just breaks my heart.
Some people put it. It's static, and I'm like, oh God, no.
Yeah. So for the artist, that bugs me, and then as the fan, it also bugs me because a lot of times nowadays you have people that the entire show.
Oh, they're up there with the phone the whole time. Yeah.
And I don't mind
the gig. I'm like, at least enjoy the moment, enjoy the music, feel the moment.
Distracting to me as the audience member wanting to
right.
I'm not wanting to, and I don't need to see the person with their phone where they want to be as if they're on stage doing this.
They're on stage. Yeah.
That drives me crazy.
Oh, I know what you mean. Exactly. Let me that selfie right here. Exactly. I'm up here with the guys. See? Yeah. No.
If you do it for one time. But I recently I've been at some shows where there's certain people that the entire flipping show they're doing that, and it's nuts. And I agree. I only think about the artist because I would see the people on stage looking, and I'm sure they're thinking,
Well, that's there. Once again, there's one of the negative aspects of social media. It's made everyone extremely narcissistic. I mean, how do I look? Am I looking good in this so I can post a selfie? And all this bollocks. It's like, man, if it's something special, I get it. Okay, I'm having a great night out with my friends. We're seeing this great band. I've been a huge fan of this band. Whatever. It's a birthday party. I get it. But just to always have to.
But not for 90 minutes.
No, exactly. 90 minutes, a whole bloody show. Exactly.
Capture one moment.
Right.
But
exactly.
But
you're preaching to the choir here. I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us of a certain age feel this about that stuff. I mean, I appreciate it, like you said. It's great, that people want to show off their musician that they're into and all that, and that's wonderful. Musicians need all the support they can get. But
thank them. Thank you, but please send it to me first because I've seen it before. And I know they mean well, but I'm listening. I'm going, this is horrible. And everybody, and I can't even like it because then if I like it, all my friends and fans are going to, I can see it. But I don't want them to see it. But at the same time, I feel bad because I know the person and I know they mean well by posting it.
Yeah.
But they're pros and they don't know what they're doing, And it's like,
you should be able to hear it though, no matter what.
They should hear it. I'm like, do you not hear? It sounds like, Brillo pad and a lightning storm in the middle of this show, It's like,
unless you're getting a feed directly from the board or something.
Exactly right.
Even those sometimes don't sound.
Even those sometimes, exactly. And then it sounds sparse.
Right. So, all right, enough preaching about that stuff. So anyway, before we wrap up, anything else we should know about Mr. West?
Yes, Ralph. What was that?
I said, is there anything before we wrap up? Is there anything else?
No, I mean, I pretty much, like I said, westboundofficial.com. You can listen. Go to YouTube. Hey, I get it. Sometimes you don't want to buy it, so you listen to it and check it out. I'm the same way. You can go to YouTube. You can hear the whole song and decide if you know, whatever digital platform you want to order it on. It's available on Apple, Spotify, all of them, you know. And yeah, that's to start things off. And there'll be another single. Like I said, the video will be out in the next week or two for that single, for Don't Stand in My Sunshine. There'll be another single probably late October, November, right around the time when we start doing shows again. Okay, maybe shortly after. And there'll be one more too before the record comes out next year, probably more like February, March, and then the record will be released. I also think there'll be at least one more video. Okay. So to accompany the songs, you know, one of them might be, there might be more. There might be, one of them might just be a lyric video, which, you know, I've done before. But there'll at least be one more for one of the singles coming out within the next 6 to 9 months.
Good. So, excellent. I'm so happy for you that this time, folks, if you don't know, the first record came out and then the world kind of shut down.
Shut down. It was like starting all over again, Ralph. It really was.
So if you don't know about Volume 1 because you missed it because of the crazy world we had at the time, check that out too, Westbound Volume 1.
Right.
I'm so happy for you that, knock wood, I don't want to jinx anything.
No, thanks, man.
This record's going to come out and get its proper due because it won't be overcome by a worldwide
right. That shuts down all of it. I know, it's true. At least we broke the ice and got out there in 2019. But then we had bigger things coming up starting in March. It was March, April, we were going to start. And sure enough, everything got shut down. You know, and as I told you, we're only able to do the streaming shows. You know, everybody. That's all you could do, you know.
Yeah. Talk about
a good 18 months. What was that?
So talk about a dead stage feeling.
Exactly. Oh, that was weird. You know, I feel like I was, you know, I've done some acting before and I felt like I was doing like a movie or a TV show, like make it look like there's a whole bunch of people there, you know? yeah.
But you don't have the energy because you don't have the energy of the audience.
I pulled it up. We did it, but it's just, it's weird, you know? And you got all your friends all the way at the back of the room, you know, and all wearing masks. And it was just, yeah. It was a little strange. Yeah. And then back to directors, okay, so remember, hey, act like there's hundreds of people right here in front of you, okay? So talk like this. You want me to talk to the imaginary crowd? Okay. Yeah.
Theater of the mind.
Right, exactly. You got it, right. So.
All right, well, Chaz, great having you back. Thanks for coming by. Bro. Loving the new song. And all of you guys checking this out. Remember, westboundofficial.com. Keep an eye out for the upcoming video. That will be soon, very soon. And then tour dates, I'm sure once those are all solidified, that'll be up on your website as well.
Correct.
And I know Chaz said, you know, go ahead and stream the song or whatever. I'm going to play it for you now. But I always say support your musicians.
Thank you.
Go pay the 99 cents or whatever it is.
Right.
That Chaz can get 0.00001 cent of your.
Yeah.
So if enough of you do that,
there again. Oh yeah.
Enough of you do that, he might be able to buy a can of soda or something.
Maybe, I don't know. I think it would take a few downloads.
All right, everybody.
So sad.
It is so sad. Everybody, Chaz West. Again, thanks, Chaz. I wish you a lot of
success. Ralph. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all the support and everything. Honestly. And thank you to everybody out there. Rock on.
Rock on, baby. All right, stick around, everybody. Right now, we're going to crank it up. Here comes Don't Stand in My Sunshine.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking, I heard your lies. I felt the abuse to try to confuse all the sacrifice. sunshine. Everything that we had to say, I've all been down, all been thrown away. And the pain that you put me through, I'm turning it around and giving back to you. Get back! Oh, please look away and don't remind me. And please don't stand in my sunshine.